Ready for the show? I'm ready to start.
10, 9, ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower clear. Roger, roll.
Yes, my dear friends, welcome back to ET First Contact Radio. My name is Martin Horst, and with the show, I bring you the latest galactic news 3 times a week. My guest today is Chris Kehler, and Chris Kehler is a quantum energy practitioner and healer who specializes in finding trouble areas in the body and the stressors within the area by using pendulum and chart method of dowsing. After working 30 years in the printing and newspaper industry, Chris retired in 2007. A door opened for Chris which would lead him into the world of energy healing. Realizing that this intuitive nature was more than just a coincidence, Chris began taking courses in many different modalities. To his credit, Chris has found a great success and certification in dowsing, pendulum, radionics, healing and metaphysical tools, quantum touch, muscle testing, applied kinesiology, food bath detox, and live blood analysis. Chris has learned very quickly that when working with universal energies, one must think not just outside the box, but way outside the box. By this we mean that all possibilities need to be considered when working with a person's ill health. Not only are things like viruses and infections tested for, but also off-the-wall possibilities like entities, aliens, demons, karmic debt, and how well your body is grounded to the earth and are considered. After the problem area and stressors have been located, the frequencies of the stressors can be neutralized with the use of crystalline metaphysical tools and radionics. With this protocol, it is possible for pains and ailments to be alleviated within a short period of time. Chris has become a worldwide phenomenon in energetic and remote distance healing, and he works with anyone and everyone in the entire world via Skype and telephone, which has gained him his clinic worldwide notoriety. So, Chris, without further ado, I want to heartily welcome you to the show ET First Contact Radio. Welcome.
Hi, Martin. It's a pleasure to be on. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is mine, Chris. And until now, I have had over 500 interviews with healers, channelers, people with telepathic contact with aliens and ETs. I've had people on the show from very different kinds of discipline, including people from the Disclosure Project. But this show will be very interesting because your work is groundbreaking. And I want to start with the first question, Chris.
Shoot.
Okay. How did you get into this line of work, my friend?
Interesting question. It was about 8 years ago. My first wife, she had a rare disease called scleroderma. And she passed away from this about 8 years ago. And the old saying goes, one door closes, another door opens. I had retired after that happened. I was able to just retire at the age of 46. And I found myself meeting people who were doing this type of work, and I found myself very, very attracted to it for some reason. It was this really strange feeling that I need to do this. I need to research this. I need to go further with it. And I took some courses, met some people who do the same type of work, and just found that it came to me very, very naturally. And a lot of people made that comment that it just came naturally to me. And where I am now, I realize that my entire life has set me up to be doing this type of healing work.
That's amazing, because how many people did you help, and what kind of problems can people come to you when they need a session with you?
Ultimately, Martin, absolutely any type of health problem can be addressed. I have worked with everything from acne to cancer, diabetes, asthma, all different types of health problems can be addressed and dealt with this type of symptoms. Now, of course, some health problems do take a little longer than others, depending on how chronic they are, such as cerebral palsy or MS. Something very, very chronic like that might take a little longer, but ultimately, any health problem at all can be addressed and can be worked on. So, on a daily basis, I've got probably 8 to 10 clients who I visit with on Skype or on the phone or in my office in Winnipeg, Canada. So I'm very busy. Things are going very well, and the results are probably between 80 and 90% for everybody I work on.
That's amazing. And how exactly does your particular work in healing sessions, how does it work?
Basically, when I start working with somebody, depending on the problem, let's say it's a health problem. You've got something going on with your body, and the doctors just can't seem to find it. So you'll come to me, and you will tell me your symptoms and give me a brief history on it. Then what I will do with that information, it'll register with my spirit guides and my subconscious, and I'll start asking questions with my pendulum. And it'll start to give me answers as to work within this area of the body or that area of the body. And then it's going to tell me what problem to remove, whether it's a virus, a bacterial infection, fungus, heavy metals, or as you said in the beginning, it could be some type of spiritual nature. And I find that probably 99.9% of everybody has some kind of spiritual attachment, be it just an earthbound entity, be it something demonic, and everybody has got something demonic. We live in a world of duality, so you have to realize that anything is possible by removing the spiritual component of whatever is contributing to the health problem. Then the real problem of the physicality can be addressed. I do find quite often that people do have an alien attachment, some type of gray alien, some type of reptilian alien, and there's also other multidimensional types of beings that I do find within a health problem.
Yeah, I'm very much aware of the existence of entities from this earth and beyond, from the universe, that can attach themselves to your aura or your energetic body, and they can cause pain and, in the long term, physical problems.
Absolutely. Case in point, I did have somebody come into my office a few weeks ago complaining that she had a pain in the right side of her abdomen. And she's had this pain for over 20 years. So the doctors took out her uterus, they took out her gallbladder, they did a few other surgeries, tried this medication, that medication, nothing worked. She came and saw me within 2 sessions. I removed Lucifer from her body, and the pain immediately went away.
Of course, because I can tell you, Chris, there was a medium in the Netherlands in the 1940s from the last century, and he has written an enormous amount of books he received by spirit. And one of the books that I have here on my bookshelf is called, freely translated from Dutch, but it's called Mental Health Problems Seen from the Spirit Side. And he explains how entities, sometimes dark entities, can cause cancers, can cause problems in people's lives, can cause depressions. And he also explains how he removed them. So what is your way of removing those entities when you have a client in your office or when you talk to them via Skype?
Well, when I do find something within a client who is going through a health problem, it's going to be something alien, some kind of spirit attachment, something demonic, could even be voodoo and black magic for that matter. Those exist on a very, very big level. So what I do is I work with universal law, and one of the universal laws says if you identify something, it has to leave. So when you ask it to leave at a certain level of energy, it will leave. So what I do to do that is I have a pyramid that I've developed. It's got 5 different levels to it of pyramids. It's loaded up with different quartz crystals and magnets and different other sacred geometry. What I do is I hold this pyramid over somebody's head, and then the pyramid acts as an antenna and an amplifier for the universal God energies, the 0 point energy, if you will. And when I say the instruction or give the intent for this entity to leave the body, it will leave the body. It might fight a little bit and kick and scream on the way out, but universal law says it has to leave. So my spirit guides and my angels facilitate the happening of this. It works at the quantum level within your body, in the cells, and in the atomic body, and it just vaporizes it, moves it out, and takes it away and tucks it into the etheric realms of the universe.
It's amazing. In fact, you send them back to source.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, Chris, I have an interesting question for you right now.
Sure.
The question is if you can do a live demonstration of a distance healing in this show. And I have a particular question about myself.
Okay.
I visited a woman a couple of months ago, a listener from the radio show, and I was intimate with her. But I have the feeling that because I don't have a good feeling about her and about her energy, do you have any insights on what this is?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna take my pendulum, ask some questions. It's gonna take a minute or so, but we'll find it. Hold on. Okay. What can you tell me about Martin, please. So I'm going to ask my guides to spell this out. I have a letter chart from A to Z, and it's going to spell it out almost like a Ouija board, but not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's it going to tell me? Okay, so it's saying Martin is remove. Yeah, there's some black magic involved. Remove black magic. Where is the black magic in Martin's body? So you have to ask, where is it? Where is the black magic?
I think I know where it is.
Okay, let me find out where it is, and I'll tell you. You tell me how close I am.
Okay.
Where is the black magic in Martin's body? Okay, black magic is in his Okay, it's going to spell it out. It's in your astral body.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're going to remove it.
Wow.
How would you like that, Martin? Free of charge today for you.
Well,
Okay.
it's also for you to demonstrate to the listeners, because this will be later on YouTube so that it can go viral, how it works. And we both help each other by doing this. Because
Absolutely.
I give you publicity and you give me healing.
You got it. Okay, here we go. We're going to lift this black magic from your astral body, okay?
Okay.
Okay, lift and delete any and all black magic, voodoo, witchcraft, or shamanic spells and curses within Martin's astral body and send it to ether. Now you're going to feel some tingling. You might feel a pulsing of some kind.
Yes, I do.
Remove. And there it goes.
Wow. That's strange.
Just like that.
I just feel calmed down at once. It's amazing.
This is, for all intents and purposes, instant healing. Things happen very, very quickly. It just vanishes at the quantum level, and it never existed. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's see. What's causing resistance within Martin's? So I'm going to use my pendulum. It's going to tell me where to look for the stressor. What is causing resistance in Martin's? Okay. Just give me 1 second here. Lots of other channelers can do things instantly. My pendulum needs a little bit of time. We need to be 100% sure of the answer.
Of course.
Okay, what is causing resistance in Martin's kidneys? Now, when you're dowsing, the question is very important. If you ask the right question, you get the right answer. If you ask the wrong question, well, anybody can get a wrong answer with a pendulum.
Of course.
Okay, here we go. Lift and delete any and all witchcraft spells within the kidneys. And there it goes.
I just felt that on my lower back, left side, my kidney there.
We just cleared out your kidneys.
Wow, it's amazing. Well, I'm kind of... I'm choosing the right word here. impressed by what you did. Because I really feel being calmed down by this.
Oh yeah, when you've got some kind of curse on you, depending on what that curse is meant for at a subconscious level, it is going to create anxiety in your body because, of course, your body is smart. It knows something is wrong, and it's going to react in certain ways, and that will cause a lot of anxiety. It'll cause disharmony and all those funky words that we use to describe the way we feel. But when all these things are gone, wow, the peace and calmness that can come over you is really a beautiful thing.
Yes, it's beautiful. I'm very grateful to you, Chris.
Not a problem.
Yes. How are spiritual entities and aliens affecting human health, and why?
Well, basically, just about every health problem has got some kind of spiritual alien attachment. Now, if you had a kidney issue and you had some kind of witchcraft spell on it, now if that witchcraft spell is there long enough, it's going to create another problem, like say a kidney stone or an infection or a parasite or something, because that is now a low area of vibration within your body, and it's going to attract some type of pathogen or some type of illness to it. So there's the correlation with a spiritual problem creates a physical problem. Now, just as I explained with that one client who had Lucifer within her, she had the devil within her. I removed it, and the problem went away. The same thing happens with alien problems. Now, with aliens, specifically reptilians and gray aliens, they like to get into our DNA and do lots of research and try to find ascension codes, try to find ways to fix their own DNA. So we're basically...
They want to live with us in the ascension process, right?
Oh,
they
yeah.
Want...
They want to be there. They want to be there. They want to ascend with us, of course.
Yeah.
So if they can find a way to do it themselves, great. But if we ascend with them in us, then they ascend also. So it's very important for people right now to get cleared out of all of this garbage so that you can have a nice personal ascension process by yourself.
Yes, it's better if you are pure in your own body, with your own DNA, so that it can become crystalline.
Correct.
And without interference from other genomes.
Exactly. So what these aliens can do at the epigenomic level is get into the DNA and attach codes to the epigenome, which will affect our DNA and cause an enactment of a program or a code within our bodies for something to occur.
Yeah, that's just amazing that those things can happen. You use sacred geometry tools in your practice.
Yes.
Are those tools, like the pyramid you described earlier, can you also use them on distant healings?
Oh, absolutely. We just did a distance healing right now. You're in the Netherlands. I'm in Winnipeg, Canada. I don't think you could be farther away from each other. And immediately you felt something change within your body, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Now I'm in Winnipeg, Canada. And Winnipeg is known as being a very extremely conservative city. Nobody wants to let go of their money. Nobody wants to venture outside their own comfort zone. If I had to rely on work within Winnipeg, I'd have to shut my doors. Because I'm working worldwide, especially in Europe, California, and I do have clients in Kuwait and Russia who really love this type of work. They're really keeping me going, and those are people who are open-minded enough to want to do this work. So working with the tools over Skype and the telephone is just as if you're sitting in my office next to me. It's something called quantum entanglement, where
the basis of all life is frequency, is energy.
Yeah, yes.
We are all entangled minds.
That's right.
Yes. This is amazing how this can work. People do not have to travel so far anymore physically in order to receive a healing.
Well, that's right. You can do it right from the comfort of your office. If you're at work and you've got lunch hour and you want to book an appointment, you call me and we just do it while you're on your lunch hour. If you're driving in your car, you put your headset on and we can do a healing. So there's no excuses for not having a good health.
Yes, and Chris, maybe it's a good question to ask you how people can contact you.
Oh, very easily. My website has got all my contact information on it, and my website is chriskehler.net. It's spelled CHRISKEHLER.net. Now, don't go looking for chriskehler.com. That's a different Chris Kehler. He got .com before I was in there. So chriskehler.net. It's got all my email address on there. If you email me today, I'm going to get back to you today or tomorrow. My clinic phone number is on there. You can call me anytime and I will get back to you.
Okay, that's wonderful. Chris, what's the nature of all entities? What's the reason why people get affected by entities and black magic? Why is it still working in this world?
Well, we live in, if you were to think of our existence as a game, okay, there's a lot of different reasons why we are here as humans on this planet. But if you think of it as a game, the game would be called duality, where there's light and dark, there's good and bad, there's right and wrong, there's black and white. Okay, it's called duality, and what that means is that a lot of people say we wouldn't know what a good thing is if there was no bad thing to compare it to. So that's kind of the game we live with, and for us humans, the bad part is the spiritual entities. Now, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. When somebody dies, their physical body dies, the vessel, the spirit stays alive. Now, for some of these spirits, number one, they may not know they're dead, so they're running around the city, the planet, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And if they see somebody with a crack in their aura, they'll get in. They can get into that person's body, and now they can enjoy life again. Okay, they can experience all the senses that they're used to. So let's say you smoked when you were alive, and you die, and you're craving a cigarette. Well, you find somebody who smokes, get into their body, and you can enjoy a cigarette again. So that is an earthbound entity. That's just one that's looking for somebody to attach to as a host. Now, there's other entities that people are just downright bad people, like let's say Hitler. Okay, when he's dead, is his spirit gone to heaven? Yeah, you know what? Probably not. So he's going to be going around trying to create trouble again. So he wanted to create war. He did. Let's say he still wants to create war as a spirit. He gets into somebody's body, like maybe Putin or somebody like that, and now he's going to try and create trouble again. So there's another aspect of a spirit that can cause some trouble. There are spirits called poltergeist. In German, it means ghost that makes noise, and they like to cause trouble. They'll get into your body and they'll start pushing buttons and trying to make things happen. It's a very, very invading feeling to know that you can have a spirit in your body causing these problems. A lot of people get thoughts in their heads, or they hear somebody talking to them all the time. Children, for instance, as young children, all children seem to have an invisible friend. That invisible friend is real, my friend. It is definitely a spirit that is toying with the child.
Yeah, that's amazing because now you're talking about an entity that can attach to your body if they want to smoke, if they have deceased, and they don't know how to go back to source after they die.
Right.
Now there are other ways or other reasons why those spirits attach to your body. For example, is it possible that somebody who has a normal life and a spirit is attached who wants to have sexual intercourse with other people, for example, and at once this person is becoming is going to look for sexual contacts, while at the same time this person doesn't need that or is married?
Right. Absolutely. You know what? As we said at the beginning, anything is possible. Okay,
Yes.
so here's a spirit, and there's this horny spirit is running around, and of course he's going to want to enjoy pleasures of life, and that can certainly happen. Now, what I find a lot of is that there are people who have this feeling that every night they're getting raped. Okay, and for some people there's actually blood present. There is a lot of terror present, and what this is a demonic spirit called a succubi. And these things, all they do is they go out and they try to have forced sex onto people. And in some instances, it can manifest to the point where a person will see blood when they go to the bathroom. I worked on somebody in Singapore like this, who for the last 15 years has been going through this. Finally, he found me, and I was able to help him with it. But these are very, very deep-seated attachments that get right into your soul and right into your deep energy levels, and they can be very hard to get rid of if it's something that deep.
Yes, because people who have a stable relationship and are happy with each other, and if something happens, something bad happens, and one of those spirits is attached, it can destroy this relationship between those loving people. right?
Oh, correct. Yeah. Now, a lot of people who do practice voodoo and black magic, consciously or subconsciously, what happens is when they set out an intent, a dark intent towards somebody, these poltergeists and spirits get. They get told to carry out the work. So there might be a poltergeist or a spirit within your chakra system that is going to push the buttons and do the job of the person who is sitting behind their kitchen table poking pins into a doll.
Wow. Yes, because there's and people are not really informed about this. So I want to focus on this because it's important that they are aware of it. That there are many instances, for example, when people let you drink a special kind of tea, or they prepare some food for you, or if you have sexual intercourse with them, or if you walk with them or drink a coffee with them in a cafe, they can put an intent on you and later on work with needles in a doll.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I could tell you stories all day long about instances where like here's a good one. I've got a neighbor who he knows what type of work I do, and he says, I believe in your work. I says, oh, how so? And he says, well, you know what? I went to visit my dad the other day, and his neck was all swollen, and he could hardly breathe, and he was starting to choke. So they took him to the hospital. He can't find anything. 2 weeks later, I went to visit my mom, and I look on the bulletin board, and there's his picture with a pin stuck in his neck. I looked at my mom, and he says, I looked at my mom and says, take that down. You're killing dad, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So there was proof positive. Now, I do have a client in Florida who is going through something really bad. She has somebody who is a black magic witch who practices voodoo, and she knows who it is. And this person had 15 children from 15 different men, used 3 of the babies for sacrifices.
Wow.
And every time that one of her sons has somebody as a girlfriend, the girlfriend gets really sick, they lose their jobs, all kinds of bad things happen to them. Now, I've got a picture of this person in my office. I got a hair sample in my office, and I'm working energetically to take all of her powers away so she could stop hurting people.
Yes. And Chris, there's another question I have. I'm describing here a special type of woman, which, let's try to describe it. Those are a type of women that look physically very attractive. They try to have sex with as many men as possible, for the reason to possess them with some spirit. Now, this type of women is quite rare, but I have met a couple of them, and what is the reason this type of women is here? They are nymphomanic,
Yes.
They really have a reason. I think they are dark workers who are pretending to be light workers, because if you see them, you think they are working with Mayan cards and rituals and doing light work. But the reason they meet men who are really working for the light is by sexual intercourse. That's my idea, but I just want you to confirm it. They want to have sexual intercourse with light worker men to put a spell on them.
Absolutely.
They work on a grand scale. They work on a worldwide scale to do this. But why are they here? What type of women are they? Because I'm afraid of this type of women.
Well, what you got to realize is that all these other extraterrestrial consciousness, let's call it, they know that as humans, if we go into the ascension process and we go into the fifth dimensional state of consciousness, that our energy can be as strong as a supernova. Imagine that, having your energy and consciousness and intent to be as strong as a supernova. If they can keep us from doing that, then they're gonna stay around a lot longer, and they can use our energy. They feed off of our energy. When you have an orgasm, you have a big release of energy, and there's beings around you that are eating that up.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. and a very special type of women. They are most of the time they are slim. They can even be in their 50s and attract a man from 24 years old. You know?
Yeah, they're reptilians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have ever met that kind of women, but if I see them or recognize them, I stay far from them.
Yeah, they like to take advantage. They like to utilize their looks and everything. Because you know what, you be honest. Any man who has an attractive woman approach them and want to have sex, what's he going to do? He's going to be like, okay, sure, why not? For the most part, and they take advantage of that, and they're going to, let's say, infect you with some negativity, some dark energy of some kind, to keep your energy down. Now, light workers, I call us shiny people. Okay. I do more healing. Yeah, I do more healing on light workers than almost anybody else, because these people get attacked on a
Yes.
nightly basis. Yes.
Exactly. Yes, that's what I mean, and that's why I think your work is so crucial, Chris. And if shiny people, let's call them shiny people, I like the description. If they have an encounter with this type of women or men, it can also be men, of course. Is it difficult to heal them from this kind of type of influence?
No, it's not difficult at all. As long as you can identify it, and that's what my chart system is set up to do. It's set up to identify it within a 99.99% accuracy rate, exactly what it is. And universal law says if you identify it, tell it to leave, the energy will go. Okay, now the tools I use, the intent that I have, the spirit guides I have, and just because I do this for a living, 10 hours a day, my frequency goes up and up and up. And my guides give me tests all the time, and when I pass a test, they send me to another level, and things just get better and better and better, and my intent gets that much stronger. So if you know what to work on, if you know what to remove, where to remove it from in the body, in the aura or the chakra system, you use the right tools, it will just vanish and go away. So it really isn't a big problem to work with.
No, okay. Well, it just that people know that when they have such an encounter or sexual intercourse, they can contact Chris to get rid of those entities. Okay, let's move to another subject, Chris. What is going to happen with us in our world with the ascension process? Because maybe you have some information to share to the listeners how far we are, because we are now almost 3 years after the amazing date, the 21st of December 2012.
Yeah.
And people had expected a lot from it. But where are we now in the energies and in our development?
Okay, here's my take on it. Okay, there's a lot of different information about this whole phenomenon. Okay,
Yeah.
It all depends on who you listen to or what channeler you listen to. What the way I like to describe it is we're talking about consciousness. And another word for consciousness is awareness. So what are you conscious of? What are you aware of? To me, my ascension is when my work starts to get more in depth and I'm able to heal more and more people on a higher level, knowing that my consciousness and my awareness about this is getting higher. Okay, I think a lot of people are looking for this big light switch to be flicked, and all of a sudden the room gets really bright and you see white light, and all of a sudden you know all the secrets. I think it's more of on a personal level for everybody, this whole fifth dimension shift thing. Now, what's happening right now, and my guides, I'm going to tell you right now, I work with Christ, I work with God, and I work with beings that are higher than Christ and God, okay? And I do get a lot of information about it. And what happened yesterday, if you look at the Bible in the book of Revelations, it talks about the seven seals. Yesterday, the seventh seal was opened. And the seventh seal is the wrath of God. Now, what the heck does that mean? Everything that you read in the Bible, for the most part, and I'm not a Bible thumper. I just read certain parts of it that pertain to what I'm doing. Everything is meant to happen on an etheric level, of course.
Indeed,
So
yeah.
what is happening right now is that God's wrath, God is clearing out the devil, Satan, Lucifer, all these demonic beings are being cleared out. And the way I know that is all of a sudden when I'm doing my work it's all of a sudden very, very easy to pull these beings out. I know that something is happening. The same thing happened a few months ago when I started finding Zeta Reticuli, gray aliens within everybody, and just clearing them out like crazy. And all it was like shooing a fly away, like get out of here, and they would leave instead of having a big fight. So
mean
the whole
you did that on a collective level then?
per person, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Every one client that comes in, I would do that clearing. So the whole fifth dimension ascension thing is about the Earth grid and the planet being cleared of all these dark forces. So the game of duality is now over. Okay. Now, on a personal level, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I don't believe in that voodoo stuff. I don't believe in all that ascension garbage, blah, blah, blah." Those are people who are going to stay in the third dimension consciousness and hang on to their dark stuff. People like us who know that there is something better out there on a spiritual level, we're the ones who are going to shake off all of this dark and start to work just with light energy and have more of awareness and consciousness of what is going on around us in our lives.
Yes, because those high entities you work with, like Christ and I guess Archangel Michael and maybe some highly evolved ETs, what are they telling you about the situation on Earth?
All they keep telling me is peace is coming. Mm-hmm. Peace is coming. Now, lately I'm getting catastrophe. Okay, it keeps on spelling out the word catastrophe. Now, that could be anything from, now you look at in Korea, there's ferry tipped over. A lot of people are dead. Bless their souls and send them to the light, please.
Yes.
But now there's also a lot of earthquakes that are happening on small levels. The earthquake level has gone up. If you look at the USGS, the survey company, you can look and see that there are a lot more smaller earthquakes happening, and in specific areas too. So I think ultimately it's going to be a very large coronal mass ejection from the sun that is going to create a grid shutdown of all the power within the Earth. It could also create a lot of large earthquakes, which what will do is reboot the system. Okay, if things shut down, then you have to reboot. When your computer doesn't work properly, what do? You reboot it. So I think we're looking at a very large reboot of the entire Earth grid in order to clear things out and to restart things again. If you really look deeply, a lot of these aliens and ETs and spiritual beings, they work and live within the electrical system. They love electricity. They're going to get in through, they're going to get in through the Wi-Fi, the telephone system, the TVs, whatever is there electrical. That's where they're going to be. So if you shut everything down, they're all going to die. They're all going to go away. So I think that is one of the things that just may happen in the very near future.
I believe so. Spoken about those Wi-Fi signals and UMTS G4, G5. I have the feeling that when you are in a dense area, for example, a big city, where there's a lot of those kind of signals, is it possible that more of those entities are present in large populated areas?
Well, of course, you look and you see large population, you're going to see just the same amount of aliens, the same amount of spirits. And of course, they want to find people to host, and that's where they're going to find them.
Yeah, well, I prefer to live or to be in a rural area. For example, the place of my parents, it's a very quiet place in nature, and I love to spend time out there. I grew up there in that house, and I always played outside as a child in nature. I made huts and made beautiful things in the water, and that's I think how children should grow up.
Yes,
by being playful, with lots of nature around.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Is this somehow going to change in the future? I mean, we are all expecting those beautiful ETs like the Pleiadians and the Syrians, who are those light beings, to make first contact with our planet, so that they can share that technology with us.
Well, really think about it. If all of a sudden we saw a huge spaceship above a city, like you see in the movies, what are people going to do? People are going to freak out.
Oh
So
yes,
I think more so the Arcturians, Palladians, Lemurians are all here just to make sure that this process happens and it happens properly. Okay, if they need to intervene and maybe have a little bit of a skirmish with these dark forces, that's what they're here for. They're here to make sure that it goes through. If all of a sudden they came down and said, "Here we are," what do you think is going to happen, Martin,
yeah,
on a grand scale? You and I are going to be like, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" Where other
yeah,
people are going to put a gun to their head and kill themselves.
yeah. But it needs to happen very gradually, right?
Yeah. Now, of course, if you look at conspiracy, okay, everywhere on the internet, on YouTube, there's all these conspiracy theorists who come up
Oh
with
yeah,
things, and the governments love conspiracy theorists because now it puts all this kind of doubt into everything. So all of a sudden, here come these beings that touch down on Earth and say, "Take me to your leader," and now the government's going to say, "Oh, that's just conspiracy."
yeah.
Who
I
are you going
know.
to who are you going to believe, right?
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah,
Yes.
I try to refrain myself from seeing too much conspiracy movies on YouTube. What I do on my radio show, I attract people with a positive attitude, like yourself, Chris, healers and channelers, and also witnesses from the Disclosure Project. And we all know that there are black ops and secrets in especially in the United States government. Um, but I try to focus on bringing a positive message to humanity so that people can lift themselves up from the information that is shared.
Right.
And I think your story is one of those stories that is giving people hope that there's good out there, because it's very important to realize that there are healers, that there are people that we all can change the world for the better if we love each other.
Well, that's exactly it. And number one is understanding exactly what's going on and be able to describe it to what it really is, and so people can understand it. Whenever I do talk about my work, I always try to keep a level head about things and try to make people feel kind of comfortable about it. Like, okay, well, this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about, and I can kind of understand and visualize what he's talking about, and quite possibly it's going to resonate with people a lot more. I mean, you look on YouTube, you look at any type of UFO video, it's got millions of hits. People are interested in this stuff. They want to know more about it. They want to see something real. And there's a lot of videos that are very, very convincing. Probably 90% of them are all fake and hoaxes, but there are some that are like, okay, what was that?
Yeah.
So people are really looking for this, and they want to know some answers. Now, when it comes to healing, okay, we're working with universal energy. How come I can hold a pyramid over your head, and all of a sudden your pain goes away? You feel tingling, you feel pulsing, and all of a sudden your health problem is gone. So that makes you think that there's got to be something bigger out there than just what we're seeing in front of our eyes on the TV.
Yes, indeed. Because those things are possible. And I would like to see a world where there are more people like you, Chris, who can do their work. Because so many people are in need and are in need of help with all those types of illnesses.
Yes. And people want real answers. They don't want to go to the doctor. And you know what? Bless doctors' hearts. They're there for the right reason, but they get caught up in the whole pharmaceutical game, which is just about selling pharmaceuticals and making money. I'm working with a lot of doctors right now who are trying to make a difference, working with alternative methods and doing something that's actually good for people. So people, I think, deserve to have some honesty and truth about what is happening with their health, what is happening with their body, and what is happening around them in their environment.
Exactly. Yeah, we all need help. We all need blessings. We all need healing. And I'm kind of in a state that I want to say to the listeners, be at peace and try to find moments where you can meditate and be in a calm state. And really, if you need some help, I just had a healing from Chris contact Chris Kehler, ChrisKehler.net, and he can help you out by giving you wonderful healing to get rid of any pains or entities that are attached to your body, so that you can feel better and live in a prosper way.
Thank you, Martin.
Yes, Chris, we have about 5 minutes left before we have to sign off. I would love to do another interview with you, a more in-depth interview, because on Sundays and Mondays I have 2-hour shows.
Okay.
And if you want, we can do an in-depth interview and go a bit deeper into the material and deeper into your healing methods, and shed light on subjects that we didn't talk about in this interview.
I will certainly let my media liaison know, and we will set it up, Martin. I'd love to work with you again.
Me too, Chris. It was delightful to have you on the show. Chris, before we close off, why don't you, in the last 5 minutes, shoot out and give the listeners some advice about how you would see the world a better place, and what are your ideals and what are your advices to how people should live?
You know, it is very basic on how people should live. Now, if you look at the aspect we talked about with voodoo and black magic, a negative thought towards somebody is voodoo and black magic, and that can cause a lot of problems, and I've seen it firsthand. So I always tell people, you know what, if somebody cuts you off in traffic, don't say F you, say bless you. How much more effort does it take to say bless you? Okay, 0. If your neighbor is being a bit of an idiot, just say bless you. What's it going to do? You're going to stop a fight from happening. You're going to make things a little easier between people. Ultimately, just keep a good disposition about you, no matter how bad things get. And I know it's easier said than done, but try to always look on the bright side of things, for crying out loud. How bad can it be? So many people have to look at the negative, always harping on the negative. Look at the good things. Do a pro and con of a situation. What's good about this situation? You'll see that there's a lot more good than there is bad.
And that's just amazing. I myself have discovered lately that when I'm in traffic, indeed, or when I see my neighbor or anybody else, and they do something that I shouldn't do, or do something inappropriate, I send them love. And I say, okay, you are going to learn it your way, I'm going to learn it my way. But indeed, every thought, every negative thought has an effect. Every positive thought has an effect. Every thought has an effect.
Exactly. Thoughts are energy.
Yes. And one of my last questions for this interview, Chris, how can people raise their vibration? What are the things people can do to feel better and to feel harmonious?
One of the first things you can do is start eating cleaner, okay? Start putting the junk food away. Eat lots of good raw foods that are healthy for you. Lots of superfoods, avocado, hemp seed. Make sure you get lots of good nutrients in your body. Drink lots of good healthy water. That's a very good place to start. Number 2 is to do some clearings like this to remove any kind of negative attachments that are there. So a lot of things can be from past lives. A lot of things are things that follow the family around. So you might want to research, and just all it's going to take is a couple sessions to work with almost anybody who does this type of work. So seek out somebody who can help to get rid of the negative stuff, lift your vibration higher, and then start doing some research and see what resonates with you in order to make your vibration higher. I sell my tools on my website, all my pyramids and different tools on my website that can help to clear things out and help to raise your vibration. So that those 2 things alone will do a lot of good for you. Okay.
Well, my friends, this was an interview with Chris Kehler on ET First Contact Radio via BBS Radio Station 1. We have to thank Donald for being a wonderful operator, and he's the founder, together with his brother Douglas, of this beautiful radio station, who is bringing news that is not mainstream, but when it's not mainstream, it's on BBS. And ET First Contact Radio is going to bring you 3 times a week again, the latest galactic news. My guest was Chris Kehler, chriskehler.net, ChriskEHler.net. And I'll be back on Sunday on Finding Voices Radio with another interesting guest. For now, I wish all the listeners love and light, and I hope they enjoyed the show. I enjoyed it, Chris, and let's see how we can work together in the future.
Wonderful. Thank you, Martin.
Love and light to everybody, and namaste.